there, welcome back to part 2. Now annoyingly I filmed this whole thing and then I realised I did something slightly wrong, so just ignore the fact that this is already sort of done. I'm gonna redo it basically. So as you can see, for this one, this is a shorter head, and there's a fringe. So all I've done is, so far I've isolated the fringe and I've just put a heated roller on it to give it some volume, and we're going to leave that for a bit. The next thing we want to do is we want to add volume to the top here. So obviously we've already styled it with our mousse and our blow dry, so it is already backwards. So this is not very secure. Bear with. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add volume to the crown of the head. So we just want to add volume to this bit. This is going to get on my nerves. Bear with. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Okay, so we want to add volume to the crown of the head. Now, if you don't have a lot of hair, you can we can use pieces. So whether it's, this is just a piece of netting that was put on my hair when I had my hair up for a bridesmaid. So you get a piece of brown netting, scrunch it up. You effectively would pin it with crocodile clips or with bobby pins to your hair, and then you would style around it. So that's option one. Or you could, for example, now ignore the bag, you wouldn't do it in a bag, but let's say for example you had like a bit of wig, maybe you've got a wig that is ratty and doesn't work. You could chop it up or whatever, put it in a wig head and then use that. This is obviously too big, but you get the idea. Otherwise, what we want to do is we want to isolate the crown, because this is where we want to put our lovely 60s volume. So I just want the crown of the head, and then what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm just going to clip this out of the way, and then I'm going to tie this out the way just for now. Right, then what I'm going to do is, because we've already got mousse on it as well, it should hopefully already be able to style. Basically we just want to back comb it, so I'm just going to take it piece by piece, but the trick is, because this is what often happens, right? So let's say for example, okay, I'm going to back comb this bit very gently. Okay, we're not going mental, there we go. Let's say for example I then do a whole separate piece, right? I just pick it up and I back comb it. The problem we're going to get is this little gap here, which is going to keep separating. So we don't want to do that. But this is where a bristle brush is helpful, because a bristle brush will brush that back comb out very nicely. So what we want to do is, yes, we will take our kind of original piece, 4, 5, 6, 7, just up to the top. Now I'm going to take another piece, but I'm going to add it slightly to the existing piece. So that first bit's going to get back combed a fair amount. So I'm going to add another piece. I'm going to join it with the back comb piece I've already done, and again I'm just going to sort of do it together. See, and then we don't have that gap. So I'm going to take another piece. We don't want to go too far down, unless obviously you want the volume all over. Now, the crazier this looks, because don't forget we're going to brush a lot of this out and back, so we actually do want it to look a bit crazy. So I'm just going to keep taking my pieces. Actually sectioned off probably a bit too much here, but hey, I'm going with it. So we want to look I feel like Ursula from Little Mermaid, perhaps. I have a very, very strong feeling that this will be very similar to We Will Rock You. But I want to focus mainly on the crown of the head, because that's where, also you can always flatten out if you back comb too much, but it's hard to then get that volume back if you've not done enough. So I'm just going to do these bits as well, I think. Okay, so yeah, I don't actually think I'm going to back comb these up, I think. Right, so now we should have a hot mess. So what we want to do is we then want to bring this back. Right, so now here's where, hopefully, where the magic happens. So I'm now going to very gently, with my bristle brush, we don't want to brush it out, we just want to smooth the top. So I'm going to be really gentle. I just want to smooth out the front for now. So do you see how much volume we lose when we brush it? That's why we need to over back comb. The more we back comb, the more we can brush. Now obviously we want it covered. So effectively, if you're using a hair piece, this is the same thing. You would put the hair piece, you take a section, or maybe I'll show you that on different head. Okay, so this is where now we want to, so now do you see how much volume we've lost, right? So we might need even more than that. So then at this point is where you'll hairspray the hell out of it. Right? Okay. Now, the bottom of the hair. Now, obviously, as you can sort of see from this style, you can see what I've started to do. So now we've got to be really careful we don't brush this out, but we now want to take, ideally, our heated rollers. We're going to take a section. By the way, I recommend you heat defence your hair, otherwise you'll kill it. I like Tresemme or VO5. VO5 for me, I really like VO5. I have already sprayed this, but just modelling good behaviour. So I'm going to take my clip and my large heated roller, and I'm literally going to, now again, the more exaggerated it is when you first style it, the more then it will still look good if it drops. Okay, so I'm just going to let that drop down. And you can do the same thing all the way round. Take my piece of hair, take my heated roller, roll it up, roll it upwards. Oh, so it's a very fiddly bit of hair. This is why, possibly as well, partnering up, having like a hair buddy might be good. Okay, and then I let that drop. Now I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do this at the front for the minute. The back's a little bit awkward on this particular head. So I'm going to take a section. That's quite a small section. I've got limited rollers, or limited clips anyway. Take my roller, the round, almost with this style, it's sort of the rounder the better, because as I said, it will drop. I have the Babyliss heated rollers, by the way, and I can't recommend them enough. They're so good. Now this particular wig head, styling head, is really short at the bottom, so this isn't going to look perfect because the hair itself is cut weird. I only have 3 clips left as well, so I'll just do what I can. If I can get it in 3, great. Now, I'm fully aware that I'm doing it on something else. It's a lot harder to do it on ourselves. So for this style, it might be worth buddying up. It depends how you feel. Now, we also want to make sure that our rollers, our hair is completely cooled before we take them out. Now, on a lot of instructions, it will say 10 minutes. This is a lie. It's more like half an hour. So I would recommend, if you're doing this every night at the theatre, and it might be worth actually if people have heated rollers, if they bring them to the theatre, then multiple people could share the using of them. This one I'm using slightly too much hair, but it's only because I know I've only got 1 clip left. But if you maybe if everyone who has heated rollers could bring them, then everyone could use them. So, oh, this is not perfect, so sorry about that. Okay, so now I've got all my heated rollers around the edge of my head. I've got some volume. I'm not happy with this level of volume anyway. I think I would need to do more. Now, so this I did earlier, so this is now completely cooled down, but I'm going to leave it anyway. So imagine this is all hot, which it is, and then it needs cooling down for 10 minutes. So I'll be back when it's cool. Okay, so when the rollers have cooled down, we then take them out very gently. Now, we don't pull them out. Ideally, we want to hold the edge, unclip, and sort of let it drop out, as it were. So hold, drop. Uh-oh, ruined that one. Sort that out. Making a mess of this. Right, I'll show you what happens to sort it out. So, what we then do, bristle brush. We then just make sure it's nice and neat. obviously this is where we want to, if you see there's these gaps from the different rollers, we want to basically sort of smooth them out a bit. Okay, so now you see we've got volume at the top and we've got this cute style going on the side. Now the fringe, now this is a really weirdly cut fringe on this particular model. So we take the fringe. Now ideally really you want a rounded brush for this, but I can't find mine. So we're just gonna, this has been calling a little too long, but gonna have to grab it, you get the idea. Now what's slightly annoying is that this doesn't look quite as good on camera as it does looking at it. So there we've kind of got our, what we're after, right? We've got our volume, we've got our bouncies, and we've kind of got our fringe. Now obviously, yeah, if you wanted to, which I would recommend, I think this needs to be a bit more volume, but yeah, you can just sort of push it up a bit, keeping that style in place. And there you've got this style. So I think this works quite nicely for if you've got shorter hair, because this is going to keep a lot better than if you had longer hair. So there's that style.